a fun Monday night in sports. We had a College World Series final and a Stanley Cup final, and one started about, hour and a half earlier than the other, but they were both going on at the same time, and it was a wonderful Monday night to have a multi-screen experience. Big Bet Bennett, I don't think you sit around watching a whole lot of college baseball.
No.
And I don't think you sit around watching a whole lot of hockey. But I'm curious, did you carve out some time last night to at least pay a little bit of attention to some college baseball and some hockey?
I did carve out a little bit of time. Yes, I did.
I carved out a little bit of my time too.
And it was an enjoyable evening.
I had an enjoyable time. So here's the situation at my house. My house. My little guy, he was hanging out with his cousin and his grandmother. So he was out the house. And so me and my middle guy, we were watching, we had all the screens on, but we were mostly big TV with the volume on. Mm-hmm. We had that on Monday Night Raw because just like you don't spend a whole lot of time watching college baseball and or the NHL, I don't spend a lot of time watching college baseball and or the NHL. And my middle guy, he didn't spend like any time watching college baseball or the NHL, but he does enjoy wrestling. So I said, okay, we'll put wrestling Raw. We'll put that on the big screen with the volume, and we'll keep Tennessee baseball down here on this screen, and we'll keep, the Stanley Cup Final Game 7. We'll keep that down here on this screen, and so we'll be aware of what's happening, but, we'll be able to hear what Damian Priest is saying. That's our night. But at some point, I guess a little after 9 o'clock last night, it becomes clear that not only are two championships being decided, because we knew that when we woke up yesterday,
right,
but these are going to come down to the final pitch in baseball, final second in hockey. Tennessee finds itself up 6-5, in the ninth, but the tying run is at the plate. And the Panthers are up 2-1 in the third, but wow, Edmonton's pulled their goalie, and this is intense. And so at some point, we switched Raw. We actually we were recording it, however you do that. And I said, hey, but, I had to negotiate it with him. I had to make sure it was okay. I'm just not going to be, just because I'm the oldest in the house, I don't think that gives me the right to just control all the TVs all the time. I felt like I needed to ask. I said, hey, would you mind? I got a suggestion. Would you mind if we just stopped Raw here? We'll come back to it. It ain't going nowhere. We'll stop Raw right here, and let's put the baseball up on the big screen so we can listen to it, because the Tennessee Vols might be on the verge of winning their first national championship in the sport of baseball. He said, sure, Dad, whatever. So we turned it on, and intense stuff. And I believe it was 9:33 Central. That is when Tennessee records the final out, and the Vols are national champions for the first time in school history in the sport of baseball. Congrats to them. But we didn't stick around for too much of the postgame because, buddy, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, that's intense too. Panthers are up 2-1, but Edmonton is, I think the way it was described on the television, they were putting a lot of pressure on them.
They were putting a lot of pressure.
I recognize that myself.
I could see it.
I could see the pressure. When the play-by-play guy said, man, they're putting a lot of pressure on them, I was like, man, I see that too. I recognize that myself.
Yeah.
And so
getting shots on goal.
Yeah, you know, you ain't got to be Barry Melrose to recognize pressure on the ice.
Correct.
There's a lot of pressure on the ice. So we turned it over to that one. And I say this, we in our house don't watch much college. We love baseball. We don't watch much college baseball. And we respect hockey. I want to be clear about that. We respect hockey. We don't watch a lot of it. But for about an hour there, we were either watching college baseball or hockey. And that's about as good a sports on TV you can get.
It was.
Just two big things getting decided. Championships getting decided, but also quite literally down to the final pitch in baseball and down to the final second in hockey.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.